Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jody Watkins, and we have on here Matthew Currin. He is the founder of Convene Communities. And today we're going to go over how you can use Convene and why it's different. And this is great for content creators and those of you out there who are looking to have another income stream as well, and then help more people too and collaborate. So there's a lot of things here that you'll get to learn about. So Matt, thank you so much for doing this.
For having me, Jody. I love it.
All right. So one of the first questions that I'd like to ask is if someone is new to the platform, but maybe they're a content creator or, a coach or something like that, what is the first step for them to, build a group? Maybe they want to build a paid group. So what would be
Yeah.
the first step for them?
Yeah. We'll talk about it real quick and then I'll go on and I'll kind of show the steps. So obviously you want to become a premier member. That's where we allow people to create paid content. So we have three types of groups. All the functionality in the groups are the same. We have free public group, we have private groups, and we have what's called premier groups. That's paid groups. So I'll start with free public. Obviously, a strategy is you offer some free public content for people to see. And then you let them know who you are, get that know, like, and trust for you, and then allow them to go to your paid content. Once you get into your paid content, we have two types of paid content: subscription. They come in and pay a one-time fee, and maybe that's a course, a 10-step course on how to do something, or we have a membership group. So to get that premier membership, I'll show you where that is, where you go on. It's basically you go inside of any community. If you are inside of two types of communities, a personal community, and then we have the public communities. A personal community, Jody Watkins, you're a personal community. So people can't come and add content inside of your community. So they cannot become a premier member inside of your community. A public community is one that we grow. So the wellness community, for example, the wellness communities are great. We're looking for wellness coaches. We want as many wellness coaches as we possibly can to create a big community of coaches. And they come in, they become a premier member, and they can start creating that free content, that paid content. And they might want to create a private group. A private group, you control who comes in and who goes out of that particular group. And why that's important, for example, is you have a lot of private groups in your community, and those are just you control who goes and comes in that. It's not necessarily a paid thing. You can also run your business through that, some of the features that we have, but that's a private group. So you have your documents, you have your stuff inside of there, and it's only you or whoever you give rights to see that in there. So I'll show
Yeah.
you real quick on that, and we can come back.
Okay. And then what I just want to kind of enter or inject, I guess that'd be a good word to use. One of the things that I am telling a couple of the coaches that are interested in building groups inside the wellness community, just so they don't get overwhelmed, for those who are trying, who want to create free content, I just tell them to go ahead and go like create experiences and blogs in the free community. And then
Correct.
those blogs and experiences, they can drive traffic to their
Yeah.
paid group. So that way they don't have to have too many groups at one time and they can just focus on one at a time.
Correct. So we'll just do that. We'll go to the wellness community. And so here we're inside of the wellness community. And so if you want to be somebody who is able to, we'll go to groups because you'll still be able to see it, but we'll go to groups here. And then whoever is inside of here, if they want to they can create free stuff right here. They don't have to do anything else. They can create free groups. So you can always start with a free group, create
Mhm.
your free group that brings people in. And then after that, you create your membership. Okay. You don't see it, but it sits right here because obviously I'm already a member, but
Right.
it'll sit right here for premier groups, $59.99, or you can pay $599.99, get a little bit of a discount if you want to pay for it up front. That's the premier membership. Again, one of the things that makes us different, Jody, is that that's unlimited content inside of that group. You're not limited to some other platforms will give you can create three things, and then you have to upgrade. Well, no, there is no upgrade. $59.99 a month, unlimited content, and that's a really big important thing for us. So you can do unlimited groups inside of that, unlimited subgroups, unlimited premier groups, paid groups, unlimited modules, which you can have paid modules as well. So once you pay for that Premier, you can, inside of that community, the wellness community, you can create content to your heart is content.
Okay. And then
And
you
then
said, so it's 59 per month, 59.99 per month, and then you said 5.99, so that's per year, correct?
Yeah, $599 per year. So that's per year. And then over here is private membership, and that is $9.99 a month, and then or $99.99 a month. Now, with that, key thing is there is for the Premier. If I want to come in your Premier group, I have to pay to get in. In private, your members still come in for free. You just have to, you control the firewall. You control who comes in and who, or you invite them in or you accept them in, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So one of the things, so for just to kind of clarify, so I'm going to speak for wellness coaches since I am
Yeah,
one. But one of the things that that they could think about for the private membership is some of them do like 30-day challenges
right.
and things like that. So I think personally, I think a private group would be great for that because anyone who signs up for one of those challenges, especially if they're using maybe another way for building their workouts or something like
Yeah,
that, then they can actually put those people in that private group for that amount of time. So
absolutely.
that's just
Yeah,
something
absolutely.
that they could think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's key things to it. Remember, we have, when you create a Premier group, it's going to ask you if you want to give to the affiliate program. And we'll get to that. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but that's important because that's going to allow you to create, a base that can help you sell your content. Now, here's
Right.
the thing, Jody, and this is important. Everybody listen to this. You want to get this paid for. You don't want to pay that $59.99 a month. What you do is you're going to have to originally pay it, but you go out and find other Premier members, right? Because Convene, the products that Convene pay a affiliate referral fee on, a referral fee is the Premier membership, the private membership, or the community leader membership. Now we can get a lot more into that, but if you go out and find 3 other Premier members that come in as coaches or want to create Premier content in any community, doesn't matter which community, then you're not paying your $59.99. It's covered because you'll make 40% of that $59.99, which is $23, I think. So
Right. Yeah, I'm glad that you went over that because I think that is kind of, especially for people who have never used this platform, they see the price, everybody looks at the price tag first, right? And they're like, well, what is going to make me want to pay that $59 a month? But what you just said is huge because, yeah, if we are able to tell our friends or, other coaches, because there's coaches everywhere, that
yeah,
about this and we're able to show them the value or maybe even show them this video or whatever it takes and then they kind of see, oh, okay, this might be something to help my business, and then they go ahead and sign up for a premier group, and now like you said it's covered, so you're not even having to worry about that subscription anymore.
yeah, absolutely. And you know this because you just got paid last week, right? It doesn't take you think about that now. One of the things you're doing is you're coaching other coaches to use the platform, to use it how you're using it. So now they go out and become Premier members, and you're making, every time they pay their monthly fee, you're making money. But not only that, you have other courses, paid courses, the accountability group, so you're making money off of that because you're a Premier group. So
Right.
it really, and then when they go out and they start sharing it, then you're making 15% off that
Right.
59.99. And when
Well, and I
they,
plan on sharing, especially with these coaches, I plan on sharing their groups. So, I
yeah,
mean, we work
exactly.
together
People
and
can make a living just off of sharing people's groups and just off of sharing, finding other people who want to be Premier members. I'm telling you,
yeah, that
it's
affiliate program is huge. I love it because I
huge. It's
always
huge.
tell people
And
I
it's
don't like talking about myself. I'd rather other people do it.
correct. And it's such a good passive income. It's you're sharing each other's stuff by
Yeah.
default. So we
Yeah.
can go on
Well,
and
that's
on about
that's a
that.
lot of I think that's some really good advantages that you went over.
Mhm.
So what could be like the main purpose for people to utilize the platform other than, Facebook or Instagram?
Mhm.
What sets Convene apart from everything else?
So people like you and me and some of your coaches that you're working with, I mean, let's be honest. The idea is to create a following, to sell content, and to, you know, in the long run, make a difference in people's lives. So I always say people come to Convene for two reasons: for a purpose or to make profit. And there's nothing wrong with this being number one priority, the profit, or the purpose being number one priority.
Sometimes it's
Well,
both, I think, you
but
know?
the majority of time it's okay and it becomes both. I
Right.
would say there's a lot of people on Convene who are here for the purpose, but they're looking forward to the profit. You know, we talk about Lisa Herring all the time. We talk about you all the time, talk about me all the time. Eugene, he wants to, you know, drive money and all that. So it's good. So, but here's the deal. We want to make a difference in people's lives. So how are you going to make a difference in people's life? You have to collaborate with them. And this is the one thing that makes Convene different than any other platform out there, I believe, is that it is a place where you can collaborate with your following and your people, right? The people that you're working with in a positive way. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're a wellness accountability group. That you have Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. There's a plug. Thursday nights at
It's
7 o'clock.
actually called Jody's accountability group because
Yeah.
now we have a lot of wellness coaches that are going to be building up their own groups. So
Exactly.
now it's JAG instead of WAG. But anyway.
Exactly. So the JAG group there, once it starts growing, you know, you want to provide value to these people, not just in that call. So you're going to have your call and you are going to record that call, right? That's content. You take that content, you put it up in there because, for example, me, I am often flying or out doing something and I can't always be on that accountability call, but I can come back and watch it. Well, from that call, you can go and now you can say, hey, this week, accountability group, I'm going to assign you two experiences, and experiences training will teach you all that. I'm going to assign you two experiences about specific things that we talked about during this. These are the things that we're going to learn. And so now you have those and you can build those and you can assign them and you can say, hey, I'm also going to put in discussion boards this week. So make sure to go back and interact. And remember, every member can write experiences. Every member can write discussion boards. And so they can go in and put their discussion board on there and you can go in and interact with them. Interaction is the key to success of anything. I don't care what you're doing, but it's the key to
Yeah.
success within
It
Convene.
is. And I really like that too because, you know, there's so many Facebook groups out there, but they all have all these parameters. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what I can post in here.
Yeah,
And, you know, and so it really just makes me freeze up. So I know if I feel like that, I can only imagine how other
yeah,
people feel. And then also, I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about the anonymity feature,
correct.
because that is, I think, one of the biggest things
Yeah,
that sets Convene apart from everything else. If you want
yeah.
to touch on that real quick, that'd be great.
Okay, back up. Let me back up 1 second. One thing you
Okay.
just said that I wanted to hit on real quick: announcements. There's no algorithms
Right.
inside of Convene. That's key. So when you create that following and you create that group and you take an announcement in your group and you put it out, 100% of the people will get that announcement, either in the form of a notification with inside the platform, or if they have their notifications turned on, their email notifications, they'll get that email. So you always want to tell your people, make sure it should be defaulted on the group announcement and make sure they have them on because your announcements will go out. It's 100%. I don't
I
know how
love
many people
that.
get into Facebook. I mean, look,
I love
10%,
that.
15%, you know, it's so frustrating.
It
Okay.
is.
The anonymity piece is one of the biggest and best things that I think that we have about Convene.
Yeah.
It's so important because every one of us have a story. We all have a story. And so sometimes when people come to you and to others, there's some sensitive topics that people want to talk about. And so we allow people to put things out there in an anonymous way. For example, I can put a discussion board out there in an anonymous way. When I do that, I can ask that sensitive question, maybe something that I don't want to put out there, but I want to get that feedback from people. I want to have that interaction. All right, Jody, you might come back and answer as Jody Watkins. I might have walked that similar story as this person. I can, when I reply to that person, guess what? I can reply as Matthew Currin, or I can reply anonymously. It
Right.
really promotes that back and forth, that sharing.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can write experiences anonymously. That's important. That came from my daughter, Lainey, who was 13, and she wrote an experience about being cyberbullied. And when she did, she wrote it from the point of view of being Olivia. And so, but she was asking very good questions of, if you were in this situation, how would you handle it? Have
Yeah.
you ever been cyberbullied before? She was truly looking for that feedback and those answers. So they're sensitive topics,
I get
depression.
chills every time you talk about that because my daughter just turned 12. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's
you
so
know,
amazing that we can, have a place for our kids to actually discuss
well,
things and not
I'm
have to
glad you
worry
brought
about
that
it.
up, because we are starting two new communities, uniquely yours. We're parents and we're going through a tough time in this world. So uniquely yours is a
I'm
parent.
learning how to be a mom of a preteen
Exactly. And I have a
with
24-year-old and a 22-year-old.
ADHD.
And yeah. So listen, that's key, because uniquely yours is going to be for parents to come together, and uniquely you is going to be a community for teens that they
Yeah,
can communicate and collaborate in those sensitive subjects where they're asking questions. In both communities, we're going to have some experts available, but it's really just for me and you. We're
yeah,
parents. Now we can go in and ask those questions or talk about those sensitive subjects that we need. And guess what? You're going to find, Jody, I've told you this a lot of times. That weekend that we had our event, I had 6 conversations with 6 different parents about what is going on in this world. And because I'm a counselor, I have a counseling
right.
degree. And it was all of us. Every parent I come in contact with is talking about this. So I think it's one of the number one topics inside of America is parenting, and then what our kids are going through. So we're creating those communities. They're going to be
A whole
wonderful.
lot different these days.
Yeah.
We didn't have all
And
the technology they got.
yeah. So I think it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, for sure.
But the anonymity is huge in that. The
Yeah.
anonymity would be a big piece, but a lot of good things are happening in wellness. What else? What
Yeah.
else?
I mean, basically, I think you've covered everything. I really just wanted to kind of, introduce, okay, if you are a coach or someone, who desires to have a paid group inside of this amazing platform, how do you get started? Um, if you want, I don't know if you want to touch on the training that's already in there.
Right.
And so that way we can direct people to that as well. You want to do
Yeah.
that?
So there's a lot of training in the Convene community. I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go ahead and in this video, because this video is going to go for us. There's a lot of
Hmm.
training in the Convene community, but going forward, you're going to find all your training in the toolbox, okay, on your dashboard inside of every community. It will be there, and it will be Jody's helping us work on it. We're really coming together as a team to answer those frequently asked questions, to give those training videos that we need to drive people through it, to really understand the system. Listen, I don't care what system you're using, you have to go through the learning process to use it. Jody, I mean, your example of that, you went through the process of learning it, and then it's a breeze. You go and you fly around, but just take the time to learn the system, go through the process. We're used to being part of discussion boards. We're used to going
Hmm.
through training courses. We're used to sending out group emails. In this case, all you got to do is go to announcements, put an announcement in there and send it out. So
That's
that
nice.
we
Yes.
try to take everything and bring it into one spot. And that's why maybe Convene seems like a big thing, but it's not. You're used to doing everything that's inside
All
of
of
there.
it.
Yeah, just take the time to learn it, and let us teach it. We have calls.
Yeah.
We have calls every Friday morning, where we are just on a link, and we'll walk you through demos or quite your questions. We have Monday night calls, Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, where we take people through an introductory of Convene and introduce you to a lot of people. So we do a lot of things. You're going to get your hand held by us, and we're going to continue to work with you.
Yeah,
As
and I think that's huge to point out too, because there are a lot of people that are like, well, I already have courses on here or there or whatever, but they're having to learn how to create those courses alone. Like maybe they have to
yeah,
watch a video or something like that. But how many places can you actually talk to the founder of the platform,
yeah,
or even and then we get to talk to Todd, who is the designer, like he's doing all the codes
yeah,
and things like that. And so anybody that comes on board, just remember, you're not by yourself. You're not having to figure this out by yourself. Please continue to ask questions if you have them. That really helps us build out these discussion boards that we're
yeah.
creating, for the frequently asked questions and things like that. It's the same thing I tell my coaches, like, hey, if you have a question, put it in the discussion board, because as we grow, we want to make sure that these answers are there so other coaches that come in can have the same answers as well. So the more you
Yeah.
guys ask, no question is a dumb question. Just make sure you ask.
Exactly. And one of the things I want to point out too is that, one of the things that I'm always shocked with and always pleased with, and I just think it's amazing, is that Convene is a platform with a purpose. Everybody that comes to Convene is here to make a difference in people's lives. That's really what people want to do. And they're doing it through their journey. They're doing it through their story, and they're understanding. And this is, again, what makes Convene different. They're understanding that they're not walking alone, and they can take their story, they can take their content, and they're going to find other people who've been through the same thing that they have been through. And now it becomes a collaborative learning process. It becomes a collaborative learning group. Again, what makes it different? The collaboration features that we've created are so important. So we're going to make a difference in a lot of people's lives, and that's key. We're here to grow and here to change lives everywhere, and no matter what topic that you're in. And here's the last thing. There's lots of other platforms out there, right? I think Convene is the best. Obviously, I've been creating this for a long, long time.
I
So
think so too, and I didn't create it. So,
but you can be out here on this island by yourself, or you can come join a collaborative
yeah, I don't
site.
like the island. I've been there long enough.
Yeah, people go out there, they create their content, they're out on this island. It's just the people that they reach. Another key thing that about Convene, if you bring somebody to Convene, Jody, you might invite somebody to your wellness accountability group. They come in, you given them your link, they clicked on your link, and then they go over to Eugene Brown's course and Stone Eye, which is learning how to trade in stocks. You didn't invite me there. You just brought me to the site for your wellness group. And now I've gone over there and now bought Eugene Brown's group on how to trade stocks. And guess what? He gives a referral fee, and you just made money off of that because he gives a referral fee.
And I wasn't even trying. That's the best part.
And you
It's
weren't
like
even
you're
trying.
not even trying. It's just
Yeah.
like it's here.
Passive income there.
Yeah,
And
which is
so that
awesome.
happens. Yeah, that happens. That's awesome.
All right, so you want to quickly just show people, like what you already have in there as far as, to help them with their strategy and things like that, because I know you've been
Yep.
creating stuff for that.
Okay. Yep. Let me come in here and let me come back into the dashboard. All right. So this is the wellness. I'm in the wellness community. So the toolbox, it's going to switch around here a little bit. We got an update coming, but it'll switch around, but you're going to see the toolbox. This learning center right here is, you can see that it still says coming soon. That's where it's going to have all the great things that Jody and our team are working on. So I want to make sure that you understand the dashboard is where you get your quick links and where you go wherever you want to go, or go straight to experiences, straight to groups. There'll be a feed in here coming forward. Now, if I want to jump over to the Convene community, I just go in here and I click on the Convene community, and now it'll update, and now I'm in there. So if I can go in there, I can see the information page. That's like a website. What is the Convene community? And I can go in groups.
So let's hit real quick, because a lot of people that are coming in, they're not, maybe not linked up to the Convene community yet, so they may not see it in their dashboard. So how do they get to where they can see all the communities?
Yeah, how do you join it? Okay, so on the dashboard, they'll see their dashboard of whatever community that they're in. Right here, it says view all communities. So here it is. Click on view all communities. Now it's going to show you all the communities that are available. It's going to show you the ones that you've joined, the ones that are available if you've joined some, which ones are coming soon. Like you'll see if I go to coming soon, there's other ones in there that are being built out that I'm not a member of. And then not everybody can do this. I'm the only one who can do this. The create, that's my special button. You're seeing the ad. So to that point though, if you're somebody who has an idea, do not see a community that you on Convene, but you want to create one, get in touch with us, get in touch with Jody, myself. We'll run you through, see if it's a good fit for us, if you're a good fit for us, and then we'll do it. So the Convene community, I can come in and I can see all these great communities. There's Jody Watkins. Again, this is a personal community. The rest are public communities. And I can see, all these different communities, and I can go join them. So ones I'm excited about, uniquely yours up here, uniquely you as the kids. We have a lot of communities. We have other ones that are coming. So that's how you go join a community. When you click on it, unfortunately, I'm a member of everything, but
Yeah,
when you click
exactly.
on
Me too. And that's why, so
that,
people be like, well, mine doesn't look like yours. And I'm like, well,
yeah,
you got to make it look like mine.
exactly. You got to go join. So you
You got
just
to
go
go
to
join
all.
them.
Yeah, you go to all and you click on. But some people don't want to have be a member of every
Right,
single,
right.
which is fine. You pick the ones you want,
Hmm.
and then you go look for the ones you want. So again,
Yeah,
if I go back to it, once you're in here, you're going to see all communities, and then you're going to see your joined ones are the available ones.
right. All right. So we'll go back to the convene. Thanks for going over that.
Yeah,
So go back to the convene and then let's just quickly go over, you
yeah,
know,
groups.
where do they go? Yes.
So come into groups. The Learning Center, well, there's two places. You can go to experiences. When you go to experiences, there's a lot of stuff in here. What is an experience? An experience is training, right? It's a, what we call our training. We call them experiences. The reason why is because I believe we all learn through experience. You're going to get that feeling and understanding as you start to get in. You'll see the collaborative learning. You'll see how things are designed. So you can come in here and look at it, look at how podcasters, all these different people. So that's one way that you can learn about Convene. The other way is you can go to groups. Now, I'm going to say this. This group is in here and it takes you through, you can go to the modules. And from the modules, you can go to Convene Basics. Inside the basics, for example, I want to show you this. When you learn this, the Convene Writer, you're going to understand how to do everything. That's how to add content in there.
Mm.
The Convene Writer will show you how to do it. I'll show you an example of what the writer is, just so everybody can see it. This is the writer. Okay, so once you learn how to use this, you're off and running. You'll be able to do everything.
Yeah.
So you're going to get experiences like this: the writer, the dashboard, the profile, share links. We walk the dog on it and go back to the module home. And from the module home, I can look at. Oops, excuse me. I don't want to go to the module home. I want to go to the parent. I can see the other modules. So we talk
Right.
about creating groups. We talk about creating experience.
All
These
right.
are here inside of that group. We're going to eventually bring those all into the dashboard, into
Yeah.
that tool right there. But good.
Awesome.
This is a course. Actually, Jody's helping me right now. You'll see this is a good one if you're questioning yourself. How can I create, what 6 key areas to focus on online business? Right now, there are 6 modules. You can see that 4 of them are still under construction
Hmm.
in draft. Number 1 and number 2 are done. I did those, and Jody helped me write a workbook for it. So which is really wonderful. But this talks about your passion, your story, your strategy. Got to have a sales process. You got to have the strategy first, right, Jody? And then you got to
Yes.
have sales process, marketing
Make sure you
strategy.
have a strategy first. It's no fun if you're trying to backtrack.
Exactly.
I don't know
Not
who
that
does that.
not that you did that, but yeah, come up with a strategy. And that's another thing that we do. We'll work with you on your strategy and all that. So
Yeah.
inside of the groups and all that, and inside of the experiences where you can really learn. I do coaching here. You can come in and take flight entrepreneurs, get ramping that up. I'll be ramping up my coaching. I'll help you. I'll help you walk the
And
dog.
yeah, I'll be doing it too.
Yeah,
So
and Jody will be doing it too. So, yeah, lots of good things going on. If you have questions, come in here, drop them in the discussion board. Anybody can put questions in here. You can see stuff from other communities where we drive people to it. So it's good. This is where we can make your money, make
yep.
money,
Yeah.
make people understand.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate you going through that. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's going to really help a lot of people.
yeah,
just,
yeah,
just to say, because that's usually the first question that I get, like, how do I start this process, right?
yeah,
And I'm like, well, there's already a ton of stuff there. So I just appreciate you being willing to come on and just kind of streamline that process a little bit more. So that way, when people are asking those questions, now they can just be like, okay, I just go to the Convene community, I click on this, I watch these videos. But one of the things that you harped on, and I always talk about too, because it's one of the things I had to learn. It's like, and you have to kind of, we say touch it, right?
yeah,
We have to touch it every day. So I do a lot of time management coaching and stuff like that, and how to be more productive, especially for entrepreneurs, since I have to do that too.
yeah,
And I always say, when you're implementing a new habit or implementing anything new into your life, start with 15 minutes, right? But
yeah,
it's just that daily, every 15 minutes counts. So if you're
yeah,
willing to put 15 minutes in, schedule it out, whatever that looks like, 15 minutes a day, whatever your goal is, anything new, eventually you're gonna learn it. You're gonna get better
Yeah,
at practice, and
you
then you
are.
can move to 30 minutes and 45 minutes, and whatever it takes. So,
Yeah, and to even expand on that thought process right there just a little bit is that you have to go in and you have to make it collaborative so your people are in there doing the
yes,
same thing. If
yes,
you're not challenging them and having them use this system, once
right.
they start using the system, it's like, okay. And you know that because your people now, your coaches are in there in the discussion boards,
Hmm.
doing things, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
It does not happen by itself. Too
does
many people sit
not.
back and want it to grow by themselves. It doesn't happen by itself. I've read a great quote. I sent it to you the other day. Gary Vaynerchuk, if anybody knows Gary V,
Gravy.
said, he said, nobody recognized his first 1,000 pieces of content,
Yes,
right? And now look who he is now. So it
exactly.
takes time, it takes effort, and
Does.
it really takes that collaboration. Even if you have a small group, just a small group, you know, it starts from that small group and it expands and expands and expands.
Yes, definitely. Well, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to get this out to everybody, and
Yeah.
let's keep going. All
All right. Thanks, Jody.
right, thanks for tuning in, everyone.